Hello there everyone and welcome back. There was a little bit of delay getting this video out because I had to basically reinstall everything, and now my settings are completely out of whack, it feels like, for whatever reason. For one, it seems like my audio seems a lot more quieter than it was before, which may be part of the reason why it seems like my videos are quieter than they are, because they seem perfectly fine for me. The audio levels sound perfectly good, so maybe with a couple of tweaks and changes going on there, maybe that will be rectified, but we are in a bit of a transition period here, so I apologize if things are a little bit off there for whatever reason, because it certainly sounds like it to me from doing my tests, but everything's going good so far with the fleet there. Unfortunately, my first two matches on last episode didn't quite go the way I would like. It was almost a complete wipe of my fleet to get that victory in the second battle with the convoy, because my ships were stuck floating in a maelstrom for as long as they did before we got to the score screen. I ended up losing 3 ships as a result, but the battles afterwards there were pretty straightforward and pretty good, I want to say. Maybe not the experience I would like, especially for my Eclipse and Void Stalker, but we are at least getting the renown built up, and that's a big deal for me, so I could finally kit this Void Stalker out with a favor of some kind. I'm still uncertain which one to pick though, but I'm assuming I'm going to go with the Sam Han for the jamming potential that it can offer me there. At least to serve as like a utility ship, and the fact that it has the additional range to benefit from, the ambusher trait is going to be pretty handy for it regardless. So we'll have to get our renown built up first for that. I'm not going to spend all my renown right away, because I still would like to have a little bit of breathing room for repairs, depending how things go. But let's venture on forward into this new realm for me, and hopefully the video isn't too terrible for you all. I'm really hoping. Alright, Kelantan, we will see what your Chaos Fleet is capable of, because the last Chaos I fought against didn't seem all that threatening with all the bombers there, especially if I choose to go with my Void Stalker or not. With that said, I have a lot of range potential there. Easy way to gain his despoiler and the Stigs if he's going on the bomber route, or at least has a big cruiser that has a lot of fighters at least. I don't expect him to carry more than one ship fitted out with bombers and fighters at least, but it is still a possibility, and if I want to be able to freely get aggressive, being able to shoot those down is going to help a lot. And nonetheless, I really am still fond of this 4 Aurora Void Stalker strategy. It has a lot of punch there. I just got to get my control down and micromanagement down. That's the main thing. And with the issues I had trying to get my PC all fixed up there, I didn't really get much time between last episode and now, so this is likely to go abysmally for you, but for me rather. But with him even going with the Lance setup variant, I can at least get aggressive on that term. I can do a lot of damage, and the Lances aren't going to hit me very hard, although they're eventually going to get through my armor, and with the fragile trait that I have, especially if you can get a lock on there, they're still going to do some notable damage if I take them too consistently. Even an Acheron with, like, there's 2 shots per turret, so it's easily like 12 shots there, so easily 2-3 of those Lances are going to hit every time, you would think, due to probability, and there's a really damn good chance he's going to get a critical hit there with the fragile trait, him maybe having the overcharge to boost that even further. So this Void Stalker, if nothing else, is really vulnerable to just getting crippled in a hurry with the lack of belt armor, and I'm hoping when I get to level 8 that might fix itself. As it stands now, we're going to the negative timer, so I'm hoping I don't have an AFK opponent. That would not be a good show for me. And I'm also noticing for some reason my lighting seems to be a little bit darker too, so everything completely resets. So I'm going to have to try and adjust that as well to get back to the same I was before. But my hotkeys are set up. I think I had to rebind most of them as well. But is my opponent really AFK? I'm kind of worried. Nope, he's deploying. He's good. Nobody panic. We're going to have a real match, here's hoping. It still remains to be seen if he's a level 10 fleet, mind you, but let's see. I can't remember what the hell my gamma was before, but we'll try and brighten things a little bit. Maybe that'll help some. That looks a lot better. If nothing else, that looks better for me. So, let's get this going. Let's get this started. I am confident that I can do well against Chaos, because again, their main weaponry is Lances, so I can absorb that incredibly well, but the real thing I'm going to have to get used to is that if he has a lot of missile turrets there, they actually can track my ships there. It's not as convenient to dodge, if it's even possible to dodge shots that can actually hit me there. It sounds weird that, the missiles have a chance to miss? They have the standard accuracy of every other ship, but they still can track my movement, which is going to be a really weird feeling. Can I actually boost out of the way and avoid them altogether? They're not really much of a threat because there's only, like, normally one missile pod to a cruiser, and please don't fly into this mine. Okay, that was close and tenuous, but we're okay. We are in good shape and 4 ships, so he's going really heavy. We got the spoiler, 2 possible stags, and okay, we do have a stag or the spoiler there. I have to watch his movement, mind you, but it's looking like one or the other. I just want to keep bouncing back to my fleet so I don't accidentally fly into a mine, because holy crap, look at all the mines we have fly through. If I'm not paying attention for a moment, I could seriously just fly an Aurora in there. There goes 300 points of my health right away. It is not a pretty sight. Losing almost heavily damaging myself right away, but we do have, this is looking promising for me. I just gotta make sure my Void Stalker is kind of like the anchor of this fleet here. I gotta keep my Auroras close to my ships as possible. He's got an incredibly tight arc, but we'll see how he maneuvers. Because it looks like he's already... No, I thought he was stopping there, but I think it's the close proximity of his ships that's doing that, in all honesty. And my torpedoes are incredibly good at withstanding the shots of his fighters. I just gonna have an awkward engagement with these asteroid belts in the way, though, mind you. So, we'll try and readjust. We'll see if we can get some torpedo hits in. It doesn't look like it's going to be. I'm so used with the dang short burn on the Imperial Navy torpedoes that those are completely off. I may have still got a hit, mind you. A single hit, but... Ooh. So he has a Desolator. This is interesting. So a Stig and a Desolator. I feel really confident now because I can negate so much of that Lance potential. This is a really awkward formation for me still, but I can get some hits in. And I would like to deal with these fighters, but I am kind of already dealing with these fighters with my own Void Stalkers. Or I forget what my fighters are actually called there. But this is looking simple so far. He does have a high level fleet, mind you, so... And he has Slaanesh. This is something to be very careful of. Because that Slaanesh favor will immediately deny me my Wraithbone shift, my false maneuver. It is going to suck if I don't get careless, but I am doing a lot of damage, and he burnt the brace for impact, so... You can tell this is a really damn promising start for me. Now, keep hitting it harder. It may only be a light cruiser, mind you, but it is free damage for all intents and purposes. Now, let's hit the other weakened one. Keep vision of that. And that one actually that has a siege cloud, so let's be careful. Oh, is he really going to warp out? No, he's warping out with the weakened ship. Well, that's a letdown. That is really a bit of a letdown there. But, on the plus side, it gives me the experience. And since this match was so short, that just means I could throw in another one, I suppose. Because normally, I like to aim for around a 30-minute type video, but this just gives me incentive to do a fourth one. A fourth match, maybe, depending how they drag out. If we get an incredibly long match for whatever reason, I might change my opinion, but... the shorter these matches, the more I can try and squeeze in, if nothing else. And I was gonna say, I may run into him again there, depending how the queue goes. Because I don't know how many people are playing online now, because I was messing with the reinstalling Battlefleet Gothic and getting all my settings back up. This is pretty late in the day for me there, so this is not prime time. The prime hour, at least, so... there's a really good chance I may run into him again, and I may just cut that out. Unless he decides to give me a real match, but this is a good opportunity to get my experience at least, get some renown built up, but if it's going to be more of the same if I get multiple matches with him, then I am just going to skip out on every other one, because you're going to know what the you're going to know what exactly happens anyway. We're going to get a bunch of renown out of it. We're going to get some good, valuable experience, so that way I'm actually capable for fighting the real battles against level 10 fleets, and it'll be just beneficial. And it seems really silly saying this, because I could cut this match out too, right? Although, I haven't really fought much chaos just yet either, so I'll have to think on that some. Alright, we got our rematch there, but it remains to be seen if he's going to put a serious effort in or not. It remains to be seen. If things go as well as it did last time, maybe I'll be fine. But I'll indulge him a bit. I'll humor him. We'll go with something a little bit lighter that I can't really abuse the range of as easily, because you would think he might have some extended sensors on his ship, so I'm forced to fight him to shoot it back, or fight back. Aw. He's already admitting defeat there. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, he's not really trying, I guess, there. He didn't have any beacons. He could have revealed me. He could have stuck beacons on me. It's like I said before, missile pods, and they do have macro weaponry. You could try a frigate swarm. Well, we'll see what happens. This will be fun if he actually decides to go with the damn frigate swarm, because I'm not going to have the bombers actually be able to take them on. We'll see. This might be a bit brutal if he decides to go with the frigate swarm. My torpedoes are going to have a tight arc, so I could potentially take them out, but this might actually be a real challenge in that case. Yeah, 6 ships, so now we can put some real effort in. He might still complain, mind you, but he has the mobility to run me down incredibly well, so we'll see. All I can say is I've had really good luck with my Space Marine frigate swarms, mind you. Although, let's be fair, those are some of the best type of frigates you can have, at least in terms of firepower and speed, with the Gladiuses. I can't quite comment on how effective the Chaos frigates are, mind you, but they at least have the same mobility, just maybe not the same turn speed, so I want to feel like there's a lot of promise for them in that regard. Now, firing these torpedoes really early is a bit weird, but we'll see what happens. I don't have any bombers this time, so he has a little bit more of an advantage than I would like, and even then, I would have liked to have my shadows if I anticipate this, so we're going to have a real challenging match ahead of us here. I'm not going to have some easy way to kill off his frigates. And these torpedoes should, in theory, not be very effective. Since, after all, with the heavy use of emission dissipators on frigates, you would think he would just boost out of the way. You would think, that's what we've seen with the cruisers, so I don't see why the frigates would not be any different, but this is looking like a promising series of hits. And we're going to have ourselves a tight arc spread. I could reload, I could do all that good stuff, but let's get ready to do some pulsar shots, and I do have extended sensors, so this thing is incredibly valuable with that said. Now, let's try and kill off these things. Oh, I forgot. That was a mistake. But, yeah, and also my thing is getting a little bit out of control. I kind of messed that up horribly there, didn't I? Now, we're getting good frigate hits here. I did get my ship rammed, so that's a bit unfortunate. But we are getting frigate kills here, but that thing would have been really important for the extra fission. And wow, that is excessive amount of stasis bombs. And I wonder if the latency bugged out, because I don't recall seeing those. Because latency is the reason why I can't see those things more often than not. So it's really hard to say, but that's a lot of stasis bombs with that said. So let's try and kill these things off. I think it's possible I may even still be seen, because I am solid running. I don't see a beacon. But we'll see. All I can say is I've shown that frigate swarms, at least Space Marine frigate swarms, are really damn effective. I have very little experience doing frigate swarms with Chaos, mind you, but I figured they'd be just as effective. And I am seeing Idolators, so he has Prow Lances, so there's my first criticism there, a little bit. Since his main weapon is a Prow Lance, and I'm really good at deflecting. I can't remember, well, the other one with 200 hull points actually has torpedoes, so that may be the reason why he not took them. I'm just trying to think of his thought process here, why he chose the ships he did, that's all. And I don't really care about the gas cloud too much there. And I do have torpedoes. And since I'm visible, I can actually shoot these things relatively well. So. Oh, that was a misclick. I was hoping for a stasis bomb, but that works either way. So. Let's go for these ships here. Hopefully get ourselves a nice hit. He is ramming himself, and I am getting myself in a bit of a pickle here. Alright, everything get out. Everything get out. And we have Maelstrom, but I don't think we did enough damage to his shields. We are getting hit, though, with beacons, so let's be careful on that front. And I also may want to reload. I am kind of in a position for it. Oh, I think... Okay, he's warping out his cruisers, so I guess he admitted defeat there. I messed up with the Hellborn, letting it commit suicide, but I feel like that has serious potential there. I do question Idolators still, because his main weaponry is like a lance prow. And I wasn't trying to BM him or whatever he may be thinking right now there. I seriously think frigate swarms, especially with their mobility, are really damn potent, especially for like the faster fleets, because I did kind of demonstrate it, didn't I? For those who've watched my Space Marine matches, mind you, there still could be the criticism that they were not the most effective players, but I seriously doubt I can say I'm very good at doing a frigate swarm myself, since I almost never do them, outside of fighting the few rare times against Eldar, which is almost never, mind you. So I don't know his thought process there. I would love to kind of comment how he could do that better, but it's really hard to say. I just know the Gladiuses are really damn good in hell. My Vanguards could potentially be better ships optimized to fight against Eldar too if I gave them bombardment cannons instead of boarding torpedoes, mind you. Because I imagine those torpedoes will never hit anything in theory. So I could still improve my own Space Marine play, and they are practically the same speed. A little bit faster on the turn radius, mind you, which could be important for like dodging the bomber heavy style most Eldar players do, but I don't know. This is just a lot of me thinking out loud, and I can't really say what he's actually doing wrong, if there's anything he did wrong there. So, we're going to do ourselves a data recovery. This is going to go well. I'm constantly visible. My ships can always be lightning strikes, so I'm always going to have to be reactionary as far as getting the data, so... How exactly do I play this aside for being a little wuss and running away all the time, which is something I want to avoid doing, even though I could technically do the running type of strategy with 3 shadows, mind you, and just bomb them all day. I don't think that's what I want to do, but the Void Stalker with its additional range has the potential to keep distance. It can at least shoot at a distance. Is this the route I want to go? There's a ridiculous amount of damage potential here, but with him deployed in the middle of the map, this could be scary too. I'm gonna have to see how this goes, because I don't want... Alright, so I just did a bunch of typing there. Apparently he's new to the game there, probably someone excited for Armada 2, but I don't want to break his heart. Eldar is polarizing enough as is, goddammit. I don't want to ruin these people's excitement for Battlefleet Gothic 2. Because I'm damn well excited for it, and I want as many people to be playing as possible, so... This is not going to go well for him, although it still begs the question. I do have a bit of an awkward matchup for me with how easily he can steal the data from me. If I want to try and go for a win, I could try and claim with the Void Stalker, and I have means to. I just don't want to go completely run away. I want to at least try and put some effort in, but Oh well, we'll try for like a pacifist run. That sounds like I'm asking to lose though, because I kind of need to kill off his ships if I don't want to get pincered into a corner, so I'm asking for a really horrible time if I'm going to do a pacifist type match and not kill off any of his ships. Maybe I'll kill a couple frigates, mind you, because they're not really all that valuable. But I'm going to be wedged into a corner. It's going to be so easy for him to board me, and I got to remember to turn off my autocast boarding there, so that way I have lightning strikes or boarding options available. So, I don't have the slightest clue how I want to engage this. Nope. If he decides not to give me any ships, that'll be interesting, but I think more than likely he has ships hit in the gas cloud, we'll see. But he sees the Void Stalker. We have ships in the gas cloud, and he does have Nova cannons, okay. Okay, 4 Nova cannons. And of course, with the bug, my Auroras took the hits they... ended up taking the hits they weren't supposed to, so... I can take these hits really well, though. Let's just avoid the Auroras taking the hits. But I know he's fielding, so this works to my advantage quite a bit. Now... let's try and maximize damage. That's the problem. If he's going to hit me with Nova cannons all day, I'm not going to get much of an opportunity to play passive run, am I? We'll see. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll try and keep his ships alive. Oh god. It's alive. If nothing else, it's goddamn alive. But you know that's gonna go well when he decides to Nova Can me, right? Because that's what's about to happen, goddammit. So I'm just asking for a rough time if I'm going to keep his ships alive. Okay, that's 2. I think I got out of that? I'm not entirely sure. But at least it scatters enough, but... now, if he doesn't pull that thing back, I might be forced to kill it. Okay, we got Dominators, we got Dictators, so we'll try and go after his other ships there. Try to, but he can lightning strike really easily, so let's be mindful of that. Nope, and I messed up on that horribly. I messed up on that really horribly, but let's keep our ships hitting. Let's do some damage. And up, I am interrupting my own movement here, so this might suck a bit. Nope, and I am still interrupting my movement. I thought that was group 2, not group 1. So, I do have reload to try and help keep my ships alive. 2 of his ships are crippled heavily, so sadly no proud destructions, but 30 seconds and we can get out. Let's turn his attention to the Auroras. As much as I hate to have the Auroras be his make him focus on the Auroras, he is doing a lot of damage, focusing on the Void Stalker really well. I'm kind of okay with that, but at the same time I don't want to die. Ooh, he also has Cobras. I'll take the hits. It sounds silly, but I'll take the damn hits. And let's see how these torpedoes go. This is going to hurt. And if I launch bombers, that's a guaranteed death right there. But 3 cruisers are crippled. We're about to warp on out. Well, that was brutal. That was damn brutal. All his ships are below half health, so... I think maybe that's a success, maybe? Yeah, those Nova cannons were terrifying. Especially with how he got a lot of hits in so early on. If he kept getting those hits, that would have been brutal, needless to say. Okay, so far these matches haven't been very exciting, have they? So, that's probably what not playing the Prime Hour will do for you there. And especially with newer players, I welcome all the newer players, but I am probably playing the worst faction to welcome them back, As I said in before, Eldar are like the most polarizing type of faction. You either love them or you hate them. They're going to be rage-inducing to play as or rage-inducing to play against. And I really would have liked to get more matches against Eldar so I can learn how to fight them and show that they're not all that terribly bad. At least for maybe Imperial Navy. I don't know about Space Marines because they're just they're just naturally a lot more fragile with less range, so they might have a hard time, but my frigate swarms seem to work well against them, if nothing else. And I can't comment on orcs or Tau or anything like that, because again, I fight them so rarely as an actual opponent, so I am the worst person to comment on how to fight them, I suppose, because of my lack of experience in hell. Even then, I told you before how most Eldar fleets like their bombers. I am doing anything but that. I'm only having bombers because I kinda need to a little bit. Because the regular shadows with the torpedoes and star cannons wouldn't really all be that effective, I think. At least in comparison to pulsars. As much as I still would love to figure out how to make use of this actual shadow with its torpedoes, it seems a lot less effective. Especially again, since the pulsars complement the torpedoes so well with their massive burst potential. Since they're both cooldown based, you fire them immediately, then you can safely disengage, whereas the star cannons, because they're so rapid fire based, they rely heavily on consistent fire, more than likely shooting at a target that you're behind, that they're kind of ignoring. That's the only way you can probably capitalize on this damage, and mind you. And it's a ridiculous amount of damage when you can get a good handful of shots in, mind you. If nothing else, it's just really damn dangerous to do, and I don't think I have the skill nor capability to try that strategy just yet. At least not yet. Well, we're gonna have ourselves our first real mirror match, it seems like, and I know what to do here. It's just a question if my shadows are up for a task here, because the main weapon to deal with hollow targeting is, of course, lots and lots of cannons, lots of regular cannons, and in this case, the star cannons. And the fact that they're using bombers over torpedoes should help a lot, if nothing else, at negating his bombers while being able to capitalize on my own there, whereas my torpedoes could be a potential liability just by the sheer difficulty actually hitting an Eldar ship unless I'm right on top of them, which remains to be seen if that's a good strategy or not. I am kind of tempted to go with 3 shadows, mind you, but we'll go with the basic strategy, because I was talking about frigate swarms before, and this is pretty damn potent at that. Mobility is going to be a little bit weird because, unlike my Space Marine fleet, my shadows are actually slower than my frigates there. Well, to be honest, all the frigates are actually faster than all the cruisers, even the light cruisers, the Aurora and Solaris, so this is going to feel a little bit odd for them because they're going to be trailing behind a little bit, but at the same time I have an amazing buffer with my Arcanites. And I do have the rune-assisted targeting, to allow my lock-on, which I'm planning on utilizing, to have a full 270-degree arc for my Arcanites. It remains to be seen whether it's the strongest choice, mind you, but at least then I don't have to be constantly facing them and being at risk of either ramming them or losing my hollow field just because of the sheer awkwardness of the situation I'm put myself in. I probably could have invested more some of my renown to improve the longevity of some of my lock-ons or my orders, but this should be pretty good here. We're going to have it like with before, we're going to have waves, and with that said, I should honestly do like with my Space Marine fleets and group them separately. So you're group 1, you're going to be group 3, I believe, and the shadows are going to be group 2, even though he's... Oh, I have an Arcanite there. Where the hell do you come from? I put you in group 3 as well then, in that case. There, that should fix that. Oops, that was group 2, sorry. I'm messing up already. But this is worth it. Fleet down, no. This is on purpose. This is deliberate. This is deliberate because I feel this can work. It has the potential, I just gotta micromanage it as usual to get the most out of this, so... let's see, damn it, why are my shadows not grouped together? This is annoying, and it's burning a lot of time, but... This has promise, it's a lot of macro cannons, it's the bombers I gotta be mindful of, and of course, any pulsars he's gonna be relying on for damage isn't gonna do a whole lot. 3 ships, interesting. Very interesting. Either way, I do have boosters, I just gotta be careful of my ship's kind of trailing behind there a bit, or rather, my first group there falling behind, or falling ahead, I suppose. So this is going to be very weird to micromanage, but it can work. Especially if my shadows are positioned the way that they can just boost right ahead of the rest of my fleet. The big downside to keep in mind is that I don't have actually extended sensors, which actually would be really handy for this fleet. Let's not kid ourselves. Being able to spawn them as early as possible is going to be a big deal, so even then, this fleet's not quite optimized just yet. Now, let's see. Let's get going. Everything get moving. He does have torpedoes, so let's move like we should. Let's show people how to actually dodge torpedoes, even though for Eldar it's not really difficult. So we're gonna take the Maelstrom, I guess. And let's see, this is where the lack of sensors comes in, but we have the health pool for it, and let's see, can I actually dodge this? Yeah, I'm gonna dodge the stasis bomb just fine. He's just burning all his Maelstroms. So I'm fine with that. Now, the repairs are going for the one there. We're gonna have 2 more repairs going on. And unfortunately, you are a little bit hindered. Oh, and I'm also messing up my control some. Fine. Fire your beacons. Come on, you know you want to come after him. Although he kind of gave away his build strategy a little bit here. There. So there goes his 2 Maelstroms. And we do know he has a 3rd ship of some kind, so let's get in there. Now, I don't have any beacons there, but I do have, what is it, my own star cans there. Now, let's make his day some, shall we? And he's gonna ram me, but let's make sure everything's all good here, because I do need to get. I don't have extended range or anything like that, but this is kind of weird though still, because he is not as potent as he could be at the moment. So, I did just jam both his ships, so I should be pretty damn hitting right now. Come on. Get moving. Build up your charge. And ram all you want there. That's kind of actually helping me some. Although, get moving. Burned. Okay, get the more auger disruptors going. And there goes one of his eclipses. Still horrible display of control, I'm not gonna lie, but. And now is a void explosion, so that's a really bad way to top this off. Okay, I will admit this probably is abysmal display. A lot of it is mainly because of the upgrades, I'm not gonna lie. The extended sensors could have alleviated so much, and I do have the renown for it now, at least. So, I'll take the torpedo hits, ram you as a bonus, and they're dead. So now, what about his 3rd hit and ship that he's decided to salt run all day? And I just put everything in a gas cloud, and we'll be golden. It has to be, you would think it would have to be a Void Stalker, right? Even though he would still have the points for something bigger, even then. We gotta allow health points to deal with if it's a Void Stalker. Yeah, if this had gotten extended sensors, never mind the fact if I got extended range on these Arcanites, that would have gone so much more better. Because that did feel a little bit awkward, having that bit of a blind spot with no reliable way to spot, so that is like simple things I could do to fix that. It felt really abysmal with that said, because of said lack of upgrades, but I don't know what the hell he's doing with this 3rd ship there. I'm gonna suspect it's a Void Stalker, but his points didn't really line up the best either. Let's not kid ourselves. He had 2 eclipses, and who knows what this 3rd ship is, so he's a little bit, not optimized. Unless he was really, he had a really crippled fleet there, and he was against, maybe, using frigates, I couldn't tell you. But we know, so we know what the 3rd ship is. And it looks like it is a Void Stalker of some kind. So let's go in. So we did do a good amount of damage to it, unfortunately. Doesn't help me very much with all this, but we do have the jamming. You are taking damage, you have crippled engines, you're about to have your assault running back up. So this is risky, without a doubt, especially if everything's assault run. I'm not maximizing my lock-on, but that's kind of the point too, a little bit. To make sure, ooh, he burnt his boarding on that. Bombers are doing damage. Bombers are going to continue to do more damage. Now, just keep these Arcanites shooting, and ideally, keep an eye out for his bombers too. Because my holofields are really potent against them, and with him having no holofield at all, this goes well for me. I just wish I had the lock-on, to be honest, to take full advantage of my damage potential. Because this is a lot of damage I could be doing with the lock-on right now. But we have bombers. This might still hurt a bit though, but this Void Stalker should be dead. My own bombers are probably going to die as soon as my shadow does, so this is looking like a victory, and the points at least are a little more reasonable, if nothing else. There, that's dead and it's going to explode, isn't it? So, like I said before, that could have been done better. RNG, Jesus, for crying out loud. Those Arcanites have like 15 cannons on them. I don't know what exactly he means by RNG, mind you. If he's referring to critical hits or something. Or maybe insubordination, that could be a thing too. I honestly am not sure. Only thing I could say without a doubt that could have been a lot more better, and I made it clear as to why multiple times, so I should, in all seriousness, start using my renown for that. This is just the first time I think I actually had an Eldar mirror match, in all seriousness, so I am learning all sorts of new stuff here, and have need to actually spend this renown, which we have also enough for the Void Stalker upgrade, which will be really handy or favor. I just want to make sure I have a nice surplus available for in case things go really badly, because I like to try and commit all in to the battle rather than quitting halfway through when it could potentially have been a victory for me. But at the very least, let's get the sensor upgrade, because that would have played an essential part in that battle there. We still will have, what, about 400 renown, so if I can keep my ships alive, that's ideal. But I'm still uncertain which would be the better upgrade, mind you, but I think since my Auroras and my Eclipses don't quite have jam potential, I think I will give this the same hand, so at least that way this thing can be a little more self-sufficient in its denying sensor coverage, let alone denying micro-warp jumps. So that's going to be an important thing, because as made apparent with my first video, if nothing else, that it's really hard to lock down something if they can conveniently just jump away as I'm doing my attack run. It really throws me off. It throws off the attack run completely. I can't easily reach the target that's crippled, especially if I already invest an attack run on it, so he has two other cruisers, multiple other cruisers at the very least, that can make a really good meat shield, and so being able to have multiple means to deny that is really handy. At least gives me enough time to get multiple attack runs in to maybe kill off a valuable cruiser, and if possible, if the situation favors me with torpedoes and effective critical hits, maybe a battleship too. But everything is all favored. I am happy for that at least. Let's see, my shadows have gotten some good use there. It's not the best use. It wasn't the most practical, I won't lie, but once they start getting their level 6 and the enhanced sensors on my Arcanites, they're going to be far, far more formidable, without a doubt. Just with that 9,000 unit range, the bomber potential, and if I can get away with more lock-ons, especially for the Arcanites, that's going to be really damn potent. I don't know if I want to go so far as using the same rune assistant targeting matrix, or whatever the upgrade's called for my shadows, mind you, but it has potential there regardless.